Thank you so much for volunteering to judge this year's Iowa High School mock trial competition virtually. There are a lot of great things that have happened because of this virtual necessity. Obviously, it was born out of a panic of not being able to do mock trial, but it's better than nothing. And we've actually found a few ways to make it better than better. One of those things has been the creation of electronic ballots and electronic comment forms that we may plan to use going forward once we're back in person again. If you've had access to the other video, it was brought to my attention that in my complete technological ineptness, I forgot to, or when I shared the screen to show you the ballot and the comment forms, you saw a blank screen of my laptop screen. Oops. So we're going to try again, and this time I actually brought some help, some technological assistance from my great intern, Lauren, who will be doing the sharing screen, and you will no doubt meet her as well next week while you are judging our competition. So this is the second part of the How to Judge Virtually, and I thank you for tuning in. Lauren, let's go to the main Judge website, the main Judge web page. As you know, I sent you a link that on the confirmation that directs you to this site. And I want to just point out a couple of things. In order to judge effectively for the virtual competition, you will need access to 4 things. One, you'll need access to team rosters, both plaintiff and defense rosters. Now, you can't see them right now on this Judge website, but I think later this afternoon, today is Friday, later this afternoon, Lauren's going to be working with our web guru, Chris Fritz, to get those rosters up there. So you will see a list of 79 plaintiff rosters, 79 defense rosters. Once you know which teams you're assigned to evaluate, you will be able to click on those. They are PDF form. You can either put them on your laptop or on your screen, or you can print them off. But that will have the student names, the roles they're playing, and their gender preferences. So access to the team rosters. Secondly, access to the case exhibits. Now, you'll notice that the case is listed and the case exhibits are listed separately. The case is everything. But since we are not able to physically hand exhibits to witnesses, hand tender it to the court, the attorneys may be referring to exhibits by case, by number. And so this allows you to just view those case exhibits. The third thing you'll need access to, third and fourth things you'll need access to, are the ballot and the comment forms. Now, let's go to the, let's look at the ballot first, Lauren. This is a copy of the virtual Iowa mock trial ballot. And you'll notice that up at the top, there is a spot for plaintiff code and a spot for defense code. If you click on those buttons, it lists all of the possible plaintiff codes, all of the possible defense codes. You will know which trial you're assigned to, and you can just go ahead and click on one of those, the one that corresponds to your plaintiff and to the defense. And the good news is it will then self-populate the rest of the ballot with those codes. For round, you'll have 4 options, all of the preliminary rounds, so all of the rounds that are taking place during the week of March 1st will be round 1. Even if you've judged 3 rounds and this is your 4th, it's still round 1. Go ahead and put your name, your phone number, and your email address. You'll notice that everything that has the red asterisk is required. If you do not want to share your phone number or share your email, you can make stuff up. Obviously, I have access to your email, but if you don't fill in any of the boxes that have the red asterisk, when you try to hit the submit button at the bottom, it will not come to my phone, which is what my indication is that that it's been submitted properly. All right, so let's scroll down to the opening statements, and then the same thing is going to be true for plaintiff case in chief. You already have the team codes there, and so really all you're looking at is on this score sheet are numbers. So just go up under, say, plaintiff opening and show, little bit farther up, there you go. Plaintiff opening, and just click on that side just to show that there are a range of numbers between 0 and 10 at half-point increments. There you go. And all you need to do is click on the correct number. An average score at the regional competition or preliminary competition this year is a 6.5 or a 7. So if it was an average performance, let's say you put a 7 in there, and then the same for the defense opening. Again, look and see that it is red asterisk, which means ensures that you have to fill out a number for every function. Now, once the opening statements are done, you go to the plaintiff case in chief, and Lauren has created on the ballot where it says P witness 1. Go ahead and show them the options there, Lauren. So those are the names of the 3 witnesses for the plaintiff. And then when we move down to the defense, it will have the same thing with their 3 witnesses. Just go ahead and you're clicking on which character they are portraying, and that is the scores. The rest of it is all scores for you to put in, again, 0 to 10 by half-point increments. So let's scroll down farther. Again, it populates with the team codes. The plaintiff closing, the defense closing is the same function. The overall team score, remember in Iowa, we have a separate team score, another score 0 to 10 based on your overall impression of the performance. So make sure that you provide that team score. That will not be an added score or a cumulative score. That will be a separate 0 to 10 score. Now, the great thing about this new ballot is you do not have to do math, because once you scroll all the way down, it totals it up for you. As long as you are sure that you filled out every aspect of the trial, it will pop up a score, and it will even tell you plaintiff result, win or loss, defense result, win or loss. Now, if you have a tie, you're going to need to break that tie. And as I always said, the best way to break that tie is to go back up to that overall team score and give one team half point more or a half point less to break that tie. Now, I also want to draw your attention to the bottom of this ballot. Just like if you're familiar with the traditional Iowa ballot, there is an opportunity to nominate students for Outstanding Attorney and Outstanding Witness Awards. Please do take that opportunity by typing in the student name and then clicking whether they were plaintiff or defense. So that's the ballot. At the end of your round, you should be able to then go and hit that submit button. Now, if Lauren were to hit it right now, it would not let you do it because not all of the things are filled out. But if in your case, once you've got numbers in all the right spots, you hit the submit button, it gets immediately sent to our special website or to our special Google Drive. And more importantly, it comes to my phone and it goes bing, and I know there's a trial over, and I can see the ballot, and I know that things are moving along. So that's the ballot. Let's look at the comment form as well. Could you go to the comment form, Lauren? Okay. Again, same process, plaintiff code, defense code. It's going to list all kinds of different options for you. The round, again, should correspond to what's on the ballot. So again, all the preliminary round trials will be round 1. Again, your name, phone number is optional, email is optional, because we'll have that on the ballot anyways. Then you have the opportunity, and if you're familiar with the old-fashioned Iowa mock trial ballots, you had that tiny little space that you were supposed to write comments. And if you write really big, you can write maybe 1 comment. In this, you can actually write an entire novel if you want. I think the person who was helping us create this form actually, I think, tested it by uploading Lincoln's second inaugural address and still had plenty of time. I don't expect you to write an inaugural address for every student, but this is an opportunity for you to type comments to the students in something that's legible. We don't have to worry about that pressure sensitive ballot or anything like that. But the one thing that you will need to do is to follow along with that team roster so that you can type the student's name in who you're giving comments to. So whoever is giving the opening statement for the plaintiff, You'll have that access to their roster, type that student's name in. You can just do a last name if you like, although I will tell you there are siblings with similar last names, and so you may need a first initial last name, and then go ahead and type to your heart's content. Same thing for the defense. Scroll down a little bit more for the plaintiff's case in chief. You'll notice that there is, first of all, the character name. That's the exact same thing that was on the ballot. And then there is the student name who's portraying that. And then you can go ahead and type comments about the directing attorney, about the witness, and about the cross-examining attorney. And then it just follows the trial. The same way, scroll all the way down to the bottom. And again, there are no, the only required form is that I think the team codes. So if you choose not to write comments for a particular student, you don't need to, or if there's something that's going to be blank because it's the rule violation thing or something, or overall team comments, you've already put those comments in there. Don't have to worry about that. But at the very end, you would hit that submit button, and again, it's transported to our Google Drive and pings on my phone so that I know it's available. So the comments and the scores are no longer tied to a single document. From a competition standpoint, the most important thing that we get from you are the ballots right away. As soon as you have completed the ballot, the scoring, hit the submit button, it comes to us. If you want to take more time to write comments, please do. You can submit the comment forms separately. And in fact, especially if you have one of the trials earlier on in the week, you can take a couple of days before you submit that comment form. Don't forget, because I would like to be able to give those comments to the students and to the teachers at the end of the preliminary rounds, but we do want you to submit comments, but you can take your time with those. All right, so let's go back to the main web page, the judges page. One other thing that I want to point out, thing that was just added, we created a virtual mock trial pre-trial checklist. These are a couple of items that you should pay particular attention to that are peculiar to a virtual trial. So if you are the presiding judge, make sure that you download or have access to that pre-trial checklist as well. That's it for the screen sharing. Then there's just a couple of major issues that I want to make sure that are pointed out to you. If you had access or were able to watch Christina Thompson, our Young Lawyers Division Mock Trial Committee chairperson, she has a nice walkthrough of all the traditional mock trial judging things. I just wanted to reiterate a couple things. The ins and outs of scoring. I mentioned that the average score is 6.5 or 7, but I want to point out a couple of things that are peculiar to virtual mock trial. The first is that there will be tech issues. Hopefully not major tech issues, but there are going to be some technical issues. Do not assess a team penalty for their failure to operate technology. We are flying by the seat of our pants here. Different schools are going to opt to use different presentation techniques. Some are going to be all in the same room using a single camera and a single microphone. They can get up and they walk around. Others will only be seated the entire time and will have their laptop camera and their laptop microphone available. Obviously, the witnesses are going to be seated at all time. Don't judge the technology, judge the presentation. So if the technology goes kerflooey, that team should not suffer. Similarly, some teams will be sharing the screen with exhibits. Some teams, because of technological issues, may not be able to share the screens. The ability to share screen or not share a screen is also not something that you should be evaluating. Similarly, flashy graphics, just like in a typical trial and a mock trial, if someone's got this really gorgeous demonstrative, that doesn't necessarily enter into the score. It's how they use that. Whether a student chooses to stand or sit is, again, usually tied to the format they're using, so should not enter in as well. I think that's enough for now. Again, I thank you for helping us with the judging process. I look forward to seeing you. One quick reminder, when you do log into Zoom, remember to rename yourself with the number of the courtroom, the word judge, and then your last name. We're not going to put you immediately into your courtroom. We're going to put you into the judge's chambers. But when that sorting process comes, it'll be very helpful for us to be able to get you where you need to be right away. Having done this video, having familiarized yourself with the other videos, we're going to minimize the actual briefing that takes place right before the trial starts, probably just answer some of your questions, remind you of average scores, and to nominate those excellent students for individual awards. So again, thank you for joining us to help with the judging process. And please invite your friends and colleagues. We have plenty of fine judging opportunities available throughout the competition. But thank you for making this program work for these deserving students.